Animal Matters Commission hearings for May 5th, 2025. The Animal Matters Commission was established and is conducted in accordance with Article 12 of the Anne Arundel County Code. These are administrative hearings, and by nature they are informal, which means you are not hampered by the rules of evidence. However, please be aware that you are still testifying under oath. Each party will have their opportunity to state their case. After each party states their case, they will have an opportunity to ask questions of the other party. Please do not interrupt the other party. You will be given ample time to talk. In many cases, we are aware there is a history. You may briefly tell the commission about the history. However, please focus on the issue at hand. After each case, the commission will have open deliberations. During these deliberations, the public may not participate. If the commissioners have an additional question, you may answer that question, but no further information will be heard and a decision will be rendered. This decision is a recommendation to the chief of police or her representative. The recommendation of the commission will be taken into consideration and a final decision will be made by the chief of police or her designated representative. If, as the defendant in the case, you are unhappy with the decision of the commission, you may appeal. For citation cases, appeals are made through the District Court of Maryland. For administrative orders, such as potentially dangerous, and vicious orders, appeals are made through the County Board of Appeals. Please call the first case.
Real quick, it's not the first case that's going to be called, but Miss Colburn is on here. She's already been granted one postponement from last month. She's requesting another postponement because she's stating that she wants to get the police report and she wants to get a lawyer.
Well, my opinion would be she's already had a month to do, she postponed it last time. She's had time to do that. So I would not be in favor of another postponement, but I'll hear from the rest of the commission.
I agree with you, Jennifer.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely.
I'm in, you couldn't have said it better, Jennifer. She's had 30 days to get a lawyer and the police report. I agree with everybody. I would not give her an extension.
Okay. So then we will go ahead and move forward with that case in the order of the agenda. If you are a party in the Blackwell versus Serrano case, please use the raise hand function at this time. And when I promote you to panelist, please accept. If you could both turn your cameras on and unmute yourself so I could swear you in. All right, Scott, if you could both raise your right hand for me, please. Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ms. Serrano, if you could please state your name and address.
Just a second. Ms. Blackwell didn't actually answer. She has to act. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, ma'am. I just need you to say yes.
I said yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Serrano, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Zaza Soriano, 28 Burlwood Drive, Millersville, 21108.
And then Ms. Blackwell, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Leah Blackwell, 22 Burwood Drive, Millersville, Maryland, 21108.
I will turn this now over to you, Jen.
Ms. Soriano, you are the original complainant in this case, so what would you like to tell us?
I saw on my front camera that Kayla was walking her two dogs in like
Get my name correct. Kalia.
Sorry. I saw that Kalia was walking her two dogs in our common area that's near my house. And her one dog, the Basenji, it's like black puppy, pooped and she walked away without picking it up. So I later went out and confirmed, took a picture that it was not picked up, and I saved the video. And there were probably 15 plus other piles of poop in that area that she had left kind of over the past month or so.
Anything else?
Nope.
I've seen the videos. I didn't know if the other commission members had.
Yeah, this video is just showing that it is her, but the actual poop video is at night.
Sorry, I didn't want to cough in everyone's face. All right, is there anything else you would like to tell us, Ms. Soriano?
Nope.
Ms. Blackwell, what would you like to tell us?
First and foremost, my dogs, neither one of my dogs poops outside. My dog, which is not a Basenji, but that's outside of the scope, it doesn't matter, does not lift his leg to pee. He actually squats to pee. Both of my dogs pee outside. One dog is puppy pad trained, and the other dog will poop in the backyard. So that's first and foremost. I don't know if she raised her hand, but I actually have I have Zaza's neighbor on the call who can attest that she hasn't seen me leave any poop. We have an Arundel police officer who lives across the street. He was not able to make the call today, but I asked him. I asked another neighbor on the corner, did they have any such videos of my dog pooping and me walking away? And they did not, so it was nothing to share. Zaza, like I feel like that this at this point is pretty much stalking. It is other people who walk their dogs in that area. She is a tyrant in the neighborhood. She consistently calls the HOA for minor infractions. She got kicked off of the HOA board. And who's to say that's not her 3 dogs poop that she put right there to harass me, because she does have uh she has harassed me and other neighbors in the past for like stupid stuff. So I just feel like that this is another attempt at such. And that's all I'm going to say.
Jackie, you had a question?
Sorry. Yes, Ms. Blackwell, did you see the video that was shown to us just a few moments ago?
I saw the video.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
so it's me walking in the daytime and it's me walking in the nighttime.
Is that your black dog with you?
Yes, I have 2 dogs.
Did you notice that in the video your dog is actually defecating?
No, my dogs don't poop outside. They pee outside.
Perhaps we should show the video one more time
No,
so that you can confirm that.
I know what my dogs do. I can show you a backyard full of poop right now.
What-
Because when I walk them, they don't poop outside.
Thank you, Ms. Blackwell.
Jackie has
referring
Jackie
only
has
to that
requested.
video. Thank you.
All right. Autumn, can you play the video again, please?
Yes, I'm pulling it up right now.
We gonna zoom in on his butt. Can you zoom in on his butt to see if it's poop dropping? because I promise you my dog does not poop outside.
Is there any way to zoom in on that a little more, Autumn?
Give me
And
one
I
second.
promise you that he squats to pee.
Sure. Thank you.
I mean, did we see poop fall?
Ms. Blackwell, you said you had another witness here on the line. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Hemmer, you had a question?
Yeah, one question, one comment. One comment. In the nighttime video we were watching,
Mhm.
where there's a black dog doing something,
Mhm.
whose property is that? Who
No
owns
one,
that part?
not
That's
Gaga. She don't
Okay.
own it.
It's common area, HOA.
Okay. And then the comment I have is, you're right. On that video, you can't see any poop coming out of that dog's rear end. But I can tell you the posture that that animal is assuming is consistent with the male or female dog evacuating their bowels and not urinating. So I can tell you that without a doubt. But I agree with you. Did poop come out of that rear end when the dog assumed that posture? Yeah, I can't tell
Or
either, but that
maybe
posture is
because
consistent with that.
I've walked my dog with um my neighbor before. I always pick up my poop. If he was attempting to poop that day, I got him from the shelter. This was back in December. I had this dog for like 2 weeks when that video was taken, and he had a lot of issues. But I'm 1,000% certain, because Zaza had just seen poop right there since, and I still walk my dog. My dogs do not poop outside. They have both been puppy pad trained, or they poop in the backyard. And then because she brings up frivolous cases like this, she makes you not even want to go outside. She's a tyrant in the neighborhood, and she needs to go.
Okay, all right, ma'am, we're getting a little far away from the incident here is just whether or not the dog was defecating. Did you have another question, Dr. Hemmer?
Yeah, I guess it's a comment for the commission or maybe the Office of Law. Since that dog did something in a common area, does Miss Soriano have standing to bring the citation? I mean, that wasn't her property. She just witnessed something. What is her standing here? My question is, it should be the HOA and not her. And once again, I'm not a lawyer. That's why I'm asking.
So the HOA
It is
can file their own within like their own community if there's like a violation. But Mr. Serrano can still file an affidavit of complaint since we don't enforce the HOA's rules. So it's kind of like two separate things. And if the HOA didn't witness it or have a video of it, they can't file on behalf of Ms. Serrano. It has to be the person with the evidence who witnessed it.
Right. So if I'm understanding this right, Miss Soriano has now become a de facto law enforcement for animal control on the common area of that property, and she has that right as a resident on that property to do that. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss Blackwell, is it Miss Phoebe David that? Okay, I just didn't see it. I can promote her now if that's okay with everyone. Jen, is it okay if I
Oh,
promote?
that's fine with me. Absolutely. Let's hear from the other witness.
I apologize, Miss Blackwell. I did not know that she was in there for this. See. And then, Miss David, if I could get you to unmute yourself and then raise your right hand for me. Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. And then if you could please state your name and address for the record. Can't.
Ma'am, you're muted. I was going to say, I didn't hear her say yes to the oath either.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Can hear you. Yes, thank you.
Okay. My name is Phoebe Nyawi David. I live on 26 Burlwood Drive. I'm next door neighbors to Zaza.
Who is Zaza?
Ms. Serrano.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
What would you like to tell us, ma'am?
And Phoebe, your camera is pointed in the same direction in which Zaza's is pointed, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, mine is pointed just straight down, so I can't really see anything.
Okay, what would you like to tell us today about Miss Blackwell's dogs?
We've walked our dogs several times. She's picked up her poop whenever we walked our dogs, so I don't see that happening. I'm not sure what happened, but I will also say that I don't know what Zaza's problem is. She does have a problem with a lot of us in the neighborhood, so that could be one of the reasons why she decided that she would want to report.
Ma'am, do you, I know you said your camera was pointed down. Do you have any video or anything relevant to the date back in December that we're talking about today?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Did any other commission members have? Ms. Soriano, yes,
And am I allowed to add anything?
you may.
So I first started seeing the poop kind of early December, just a ton of poop. And so I turned my camera to try to figure out who was leaving the poop. I kept catching the person on camera and I didn't know who they were until I ended up running into Kalia. Did I say that right?
Girl, just go ahead.
Whatever. I started running into her. I ran into her once, like outside her house, and she told us she got a new puppy. She told us what kind it was, and at that point, I saw her, like her dog was pooping as I was going in my garage, and I went out and confirmed, but I didn't get it on camera. So at that point, I knew who it was. I just had to get like a good video of it, which by the way,
The day, no. The day that I saw you and whoever that guy was walking, I was coming back in the house and he was asking me questions. I was not walking. That was during the day.
Okay, all right, ladies.
Doesn't even live in the neighborhood.
Ladies,
who walks
I'm
his
gonna
dog.
have Ms. Cortez mute your, thank you, Autumn. Okay, we are only talking about the date in December. It's the only thing before the commission. Today, whether or not that animal was defecating in the video that we saw. Is there anything else from either party specifically related to just that date?
no.
Okay, thank you. Then I'm going to close this hearing for deliberations. Before we, Dr. Hummer, I want to ask you a question because just as a layperson in this particular area, I can't see on that camera what that dog is doing. You know, I don't see poop coming out, so it makes me a little reluctant to say that the dog did defecate, even though it looks like it might have been, but to me, might have been is not. I don't know. But you said that there's no doubt that that dog was, by the posture, was defecating instead of urinating, correct?
Correct. That is a, regardless of sex, that is the appropriate posture for a dog to assume for defecation. But the point on the table is, did the dog defecate? I can't answer that. And I don't think anybody on the commission can answer that either. But the posture that dog assumed is appropriate for defecation.
Okay, so if the dog assumed the correct posture, but for whatever reason, maybe it was constipated or whatever, could not defecate. I mean, that's entirely possible too, correct?
Absolutely. Constipated or having a colitis and just have that urgent incontinence where they feel like they have to poop but nothing comes out. See it all the time. Very consistent.
All right. Okay, then let's hear from everyone else. Jackie, you asked a couple questions, so what do you think?
Um, eh, Dr. Hammer posed a very interesting question there. Unfortunately, we can't get close enough to actually see. Um, the only comment that I can make regarding did the dog poop or not, or was he possibly constipated, is that my own dog periodically does get a little constipated. And when she does, she assumes that position a number of times, trying to void. This dog, to me, appeared to squat, do his thing, and walk off comfortably.
Okay. Tom?
I believe 100% Miss Blackwell walked that dog, and the dog probably defecated. But again, we can't prove it, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and vote to dismiss, I guess. The other thing is, I didn't see the citation. I went through all the paperwork on in our drive, and I was looking for the citation, the specific citation, just so I could read through it, and I didn't see it there. So
Yeah,
that
I
was
didn't
kind of
see it
odd.
either.
But either here nor there, I truly believe that that dog goes down there and poops and was caught on camera doing it. And just because of the quality of the video and the distance, we couldn't see it. But you can't see it happen. So therefore, I think next time just try to get a better picture.
Okay, officer, I apologize because I don't remember your name and it's not showing up on the camera. Oh, you're muted, sir. There we go. Thank you, Lieutenant McGrath. I feel so much better now. But you are still muted. I can see your name, but I can't hear you.
Sir, you gotta
All right, while you're
accept,
figuring that, go ahead, Autumn.
when you join, sir, you need to enable or allow for audio settings. That's why when you unmute yourself, it's not letting you say or do anything.
Potentially his PC or whatever doesn't have a mic either. That might be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we're going to move on to Nicole.
Well, one thing that I noticed and noted was Ms. Blackwell's witness stated that she's been around when Miss Blackwell has picked up the poop, yet Miss Blackwell stated she was 1000% sure that her dog doesn't poop outside. So I think that was an indication to me that maybe the 1000% wasn't exactly that sure about how much the dog goes poop outside. In addition, her attitude was poor, and I think I agree with Dr. Hemmer and Jackie. It looks like the dog assumed the position, did its business, and moved along. Didn't seem to be struggling with any type of issue with defecating. So, in my opinion, the citation stands.
Okay. Lieutenant McGrath, I'd love to hear your comments, but can you
Now?
talk now? Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, thought I had joined it. There we go. I'd have to agree with Tom in this one. There's no doubt in my mind that this is an ongoing problem. And that's a common area, and I'm sure there's a lot of dogs in the community that use that same area. And in the video, you can't actually see if the dog is going or not. So I'd have to say that we'd have to throw it out.
A little on the fence on this, only because, the standard here in this hearing is preponderance of the evidence. We just have to tip the scale a little bit. And I agree that we can't see any feces actually exiting the dog. But Dr. Hemmer's statement that the dog was in a position that's only used for an animal, for either a male or female dog to defecate, kind of tips that scale for me. So I think I'm gonna leave it up to a vote. I'll take a motion either way.
I make a motion that we dismiss the citation ending in 1125.
Okay, all those in favor of dismissing?
Don't we need somebody to second that motion?
Yep, we sure do.
I second that.
All right, so we'll vote again. All those in favor of dismissing the citation, raise your hand. Okay. All those against dismissing the citation. All right, so it looks like this citation is upheld. All right, Autumn, can you please call the next case?
If you are a party in Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control versus Melancento, please use the raise hand function at this time. I will note, Jen, that there is counsel for the defendant in this case, just for your awareness. And then we also have a police officer who was a part of the case here as well.
Okay, yes, I've seen videos. All right, do we have everyone ready to go?
Yes. I'm gonna move them all. Okay.
Okay, this is an animal control case, so we will start with animal control.
Swear them in, Jen.
Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't sworn them in. Yep, sorry, a little in a rush.
All right, if I could get everyone to unmute themselves and use the raise hand function, or you raise your right hand, I apologize. Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, start with Officer Skirchak, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Officer Skirchek, Anne Arundel County Police Department, Southern District, 35 Stepney's Lane, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037.
And then, sir, I don't want to mess up your last name whatsoever, so I'm just going to ask you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Gotcha. It's Officer Skirchek, Anne Arundel County Police Department, 35 Stepney's Lane, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037.
I think she met me.
Oh,
I'm Lev Ivashko, a counsel for Darlene Melnichenko. Law firm address is 1250 Connecticut Avenue, Northwest, Suite 700, PMB 5165, Washington, D.C. 20036.
And then
Thanks,
Officer Gum, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Officer Gum with Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control. Address is 411 Maxwell Fried Road, Millersville, Maryland.
And then Miss Melanchet, oh, there she goes. I gotta swear her in. Where is she? It's here. Okay. If you could unmute yourself and raise your right hand for me. Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you please state your name and address for the record?
Darling Melnichenko, 303 Brayburn Glen Court, Millersville, Maryland, 21108.
I will turn over to you, Jen.
Okay, everyone is ready now? All right, then we'll begin with animal control with the officer.
Officer Skirchak is actually the primary officer on this incident. I only provided assistance once the dog came to the shelter and was in our custody.
All right, Officer Skirchak.
all right. On 4/21/2025 at approximately 1340 hours, I responded to the Annapolis Mall, located at 2002 Annapolis Mall, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401, in reference to an animal abuse incident. Dispatch notes advise a suspect was seen kicking and dragging a brown Labrador retriever. Upon my arrival, I spoke to a witness later identified. Am I okay to use names of individuals who aren't here?
I mean, it's fine with me. We don't have any of the witnesses from that day here.
Okay. Upon arrival, I spoke to a witness. Later,
Excuse me. I want to just interrupt real quick. I don't know how to address you. I'm really sorry. Do I address you as a council woman or Your Honor, or I apologize.
Ms. Brianza is fine.
Ms. Brianza, since none of the witnesses are here and Officer Skirchik was not there, I move to immediately dismiss this case. There's no one to corroborate that anything actually occurred that day, unless there is some video footage or something of that like. There's
Well,
no
there is
corroboration.
video footage. Okay, first of all, this is a commission hearing, so we're not entirely tied to the rules of evidence. I understand your concern. I have often had that concern when witnesses didn't appear for these matters, but there is, I have seen, and I'm sure we're going to see today, there is video footage from the officer's camera of some of the witness statements. So I'm gonna, before we make a decision on your motion to dismiss, I want everything presented in front of the commission because it will have to come to a vote. That's not a decision I can make unilaterally.
Okay, sorry, I just don't understand your procedure, so please forgive my ignorance.
That's fine. It is, like I said, it's different from an actual courtroom. So
Thank you.
go ahead, Officer Skirchak.
All right.
Real quick, I just want to make a note. I don't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, officer. This case is simply just to get her dog Apollo back. This is completely separate from Officer Skirchek's any separate charges that may go to court. This is just to present what happened that day, the evidence we have, what he encountered, so she can get her dog back until that court date occurs.
Okay.
And then I can play your body cam footage, Officer Skirchek, of the witness statements, if you would prefer that prior to continuing to talk, if that makes it easier.
I can just read it. It's okay.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. So upon arrival, I spoke to a witness who was later identified as Virginia Finglin. Finglin stated she was in the Annapolis Mall parking lot at approximately 13:30 hours on 04/21/2025 when she heard the suspect, later identified through her Maryland driver's license as Darling Monica Melanchenko, yelling at the dog for defecating in Melanchenko's vehicle. Finglin stated Melanchenko dragged the dog out of the car by the dog's collar and began kicking the dog. Finglin stated the dog was cowering in fear and urinated on itself during the incident. Finglin stated Melanchenko was yelling, in quotations, "I can't believe you fucking do that," end quotations, to the dog. Finglin stated when she ran over to help the dog, Melanchenko got in her vehicle and left the area, leaving the dog in the Annapolis Mall parking lot with Finglin. Finglin stated Melanchenko returned back a few moments later to retrieve the dog. Finglin stated Melanchenko kicked the dog full force approximately 3 times and slapped the dog in the face approximately 3 times. Finglin stated the incident was, in quotations, incredibly disturbing to watch. I made contact with the complainant, later identified as Patricia Selman. Patricia stated she witnessed Melanchenko kicking, punching, dragging, and slapping the dog. Patricia stated Melanchenko hit the dog in the back with her left and right hand with closed fists approximately 4 times. Both Patricia and Finglin stated Melanchenko also slapped the dog in the face. I then made contact with Melanchenko, who stated her dog defecated in her car and she got frustrated. Melanchenko stated she pulled the dog out of the vehicle and, in quotations, spanked him a couple of times. Marvin Antonio Joseph Selman and Aubrey Selman also witnessed Melanchenko abusing the dog. Vaughn Nolan stated she did not witness the animal abuse but stayed with the dog when Melanchenko left the scene. Corporal Mastros, badge number 2492, reviewed CCTV footage provided by Annapolis Mall Security. CCTV footage showed Melanchenko drive away from the scene in her 2021 Mazda SUV bearing Maryland registration 8 Edward Victor 5335 at approximately 13:37 hours and returned to the scene at approximately 13:43 hours. During this time frame, Melanchenko's dog was still in the mall parking lot. At approximately 14:18 hours, I took custody of the dog and transported the dog to Anne Arundel County's Animal Control Center for safekeeping. Upon my arrival, Melanicheko was outside the animal control center waiting for me to arrive with the dog. Melanicheko stated she was on the phone with legal counsel and stated her attorney wanted to speak to me. I advised Melanicheko I did not need to speak to her attorney. End of statement.
Jennifer, you're muted.
I am still muted. I apologize. Mr. Ivashko, normally we present one entire side of the case, but since we do have counsel here today, if we'll do this a little more courtroom-like. If you would like to ask questions of Officer Shurkak, you can go ahead now.
Is there any chance to watch the videos first and then I can do my questioning?
I'm fine with that unless any other council member has an objection. All right, so Autumn, would you please play the body cam footage?
Yes, give me 1 second.
There's no audio to this.
There
I was
is
gonna
audio
add
because
that. 1 second. I will reshare it with sound.
Thank you.
Are you fucking kidding me? And the dog was like cowling to the front, and we could see a pile of poop in the back of her car.
Yeah.
So she pushes the dog, pulls the dog out of the passenger side, and then starts kicking.
Was there a leash or anything, or
No,
did she just pull
like
a
this.
collar?
She had the dog in the car while she was in the mall.
She was kicking him.
She kicked him repeatedly. He was cowering, peeing himself right here, and then she pulled him forward to here and started slapping him. And then she was just cussing, I can't believe you fucking do that. I can't believe you fucking do that. She had her baby, just put her baby in the car. She put a towel, a blanket, you'll see, over the massive pile of poop. And then she went in front of him, grabbed his collar to pull him, and the collar came off and she went flying back. She got in her car and just left. And so the four of us come over, they came up and was like, what's wrong? And then she came back and said she's getting the dog, and we were like, we're not going to let the dog go with you. I mean, it's poor thing feed itself.
When I saw something like this, it was on the
beating the shit out of that dog.
So how many times do you think she kicked it?
Oh, like 3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
Like full force or?
Yes.
Oh,
full force.
God, yeah.
Then after she kicked, she had both hands on the back, just beating like this. Just
like closed fists?
Yes.
How many times would you say she hit the dog?
At least 3 or 4 times with the fist, and she
And then she came to the front and slapped him in the front.
slapped him in the face.
And then she was trying to drag him with the collar. The collar
came
flew off. It was incredibly disturbing to watch.
Yes.
And then when she drove off, my daughter immediately ran over to the dog,
Because
and I came following her.
We didn't think she was going to leave because all I kept thinking, I hope she don't
We
back
thought she was going to back up on the dog. We were like, oh my God, is she
literally
going to back
left.
over the dog?
I think she came back because we walked over.
This happened when you guys called, I'm assuming? When you guys called?
Oh, then she called when she came, because she was going to take the dog. She said, I could take the dog.
I'll take I'm going to take him.
Okay, you won't give the dog back to her?
Oh, heck no. Did you all witness it?
So the 4 of us did. They did not.
You
They
guys did?
came up
Okay.
when we were here with the dog, and I don't know. She could probably see it. We were like disturbed.
Can I get all 4 of you guys' IDs?
Mr. Iwashko, in light of the video you just saw, did you want to ask Officer Shurkak any questions?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So Officer Skirchuk, did any of them, or did you question anybody about the distance that they were from the incident that they allegedly witnessed?
I didn't question anybody. Miss Fingland stated her vehicle was parked right next to the stall cross from where Melanicheko was parked.
And what was the approximate distance?
She pointed to the next parking stall. So there was the parking stall where Melanchenko was, and then the next parking stall across.
Okay. Was there anything obscuring her view?
I don't know. She didn't state that.
Okay, and you didn't ask her about that.
She stated she witnessed the dog being beat and kicked and punched.
Okay. So did she actually see did she mention anything about actually seeing the dog be when he did allegedly get kicked or kicked, for example? What part of the body was he kicked on?
I don't recall.
Well, this is very important, Officer Skircheck. I mean, what
I
part
got
of the
you.
body was he kicked?
I don't recall. She said that the dog was kicked.
So this very serious allegation, there's absolutely no evidence
Is
of
there
any
would there
part
be
of
a
the body.
difference in kicking a dog?
I was going to. All right. First of all, the question's been asked and answered. I understand it wasn't a satisfactory answered, but it has. You asked it. He answered it. He does not have the information. Move
Okay.
on,
How,
counsel.
how about where the dog was punched?
In the back. The witness stated the dog was punched in the back 4 times with 2 closed fists.
What part of the back?
The back of the dog, sir.
No, well, no, there's a difference between like up near the shoulder blade area and then the lower hindquarters.
She stated the back of the dog. That's all I
Okay.
have.
And did you notice any kind of physical evidence of this on the dog?
Animal control was checked over the dog for any injuries.
And were there any injuries?
That's up to the officer from animal control to speak on that behalf.
Okay, so that officer would have that information.
She should have that information, yes, sir.
Okay, and so there were, I believe, 6 people in that video. Is that correct?
6 people in that video, yes, sir.
And there were allegedly 4 witnesses to the alleged incident.
4 witnesses, yes, sir.
Okay, and what were the other 2 witnesses doing there?
Are you referring to?
There was one lady who said she wasn't there, but she was actually holding the dog at the time.
Yeah, so that was her last name. Let me look. That was Vaughn Nolan.
So she did not witness the incident.
She did not witness this, and she just said she cared about the dog's behalf and stayed with the dog.
Of course, which is very understandable if this allegation has been made against an animal. Okay, that's it for right now. Thank you very much, Officer Skircheck.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Did any other commission members have questions for Officer Skircheck? Jackie?
I don't have a question. I'd just like to make a clarifying statement that the charge is not against the dog. It is against the owner of the dog. And I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce the gentleman's name, but the lawyer just said charges against the dog or inferred that.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie. Yes, and Dr. Hemmer?
More of a clarification comment. Am I correct in assuming that what us as a commission are going to do this morning is to determine whether or not this dog is released from animal control to the owner, and that there are separate criminal charges pending of which we have no interest in? Is that a correct understanding of what we're doing right now this morning?
Our determination is twofold. We first have to determine whether or not the initial impoundment was justified. And then if so, whether or not the dog should continue to remain in the care and custody of animal control pending the other charges.
Other charges being criminal charges against Ms. Darling?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Anyone else have any questions or comments for Officer Skircheck? All right, then we're going to move on to Officer Gum. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. On 4/21 at approximately 2:50, Officer Skirchak arrived at Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control located at 411 Maxwell Fry Road with a chocolate Labrador Retriever type dog in his custody. He advised he needed assistance in securing it and advised it was due to alleged abuse and advised me of the circumstances around the nature of the abuse. I assisted him in directing him to our intake staff as well as communicating the 10-day letter information procedures with the owner. I proceeded to complete that paperwork with Miss Milenchenko. Apologies if I pronounce your name wrong, ma'am. After finishing the paperwork and completing the intake form with Officer Skirchak, I briefly evaluated the dog known as Apollo. Due to not having assistance due to the late time of day, other staff members had already gone home. I did minimal intake. I patted him down the best I had my abilities to see if he had any obvious injuries that would result in needing to go to an immediate vet, since our vet had already left. I did not see any reactions of pain. I did not see any wincing or obvious limping. I did photograph the dog's body and face the best I could due to the dog's nervous and shifty behavior. The dog was under stress and was panting and would not sit still for very long, and I did not have anyone who could legally assist me in managing the dog that day. However, over preceding days, the dog was evaluated by our on-staff veterinarian as well as myself. I was there for every evaluation and I documented these evaluations through photographs. An evaluation and review of my initial photographs, a bruise was noted on the dog's, I believe, left eye, and it was shown in the photo with the slash. On the 24th, we observed a scab on the top of the dog's snout, a split which was scabbing on the side of the dog's nose, a small bald patch on the right side of the dog's nose near the split as well, which is in between the two fingers. The split is seen right there with the highlighted white that's from the flash of my phone. Could you bring up the photo from the 21st? I was attempting to document the slight redness in the white of the dog's eyes. I was unsure if that was due to stress or any possible injuries, but I felt it important to document it. But however, due to the dog's nervous disposition, it would not hold still long enough for most photos, as well as managing him by myself while documenting these photos. But upon looking at the one photo, you can see a mark in the crease of the eye. We attempted to shave the dog in a small patch to see if there was any obvious bruisings due to staff carding through the dog's fur to try to see if any marks were showing up on the skin over subsequent days. But due to not seeing any, we thought it only appropriate to shave a partial patch due to not wanting to cause undue stress to the dog. The dog was not fully shaved. That is another picture of the split on the dog's nose, as well as the bald patch. And I believe on the 25th, there's another of the scab that was forming on top of the dog's nose. And then Dr. McCaw noted marks on the dog's lips, as well as one matching mark on the other side on the dog's gums. The mark matches with its canine as well as to the mark on the lip. All these injuries were documented for the case going forward. I attempted to continue to document the bruise. However, due to its placement, the dog's fur pattern, and as well as the flash that was necessary to see the bruise near the dog's eye, he did not like to cooperate for photos. I can faintly see it in some of these photos. However, I understand it may be difficult to see. But due to the nature of the placement and the flash, he did not always cooperate for photos. We did not feel it's safe to shave the area on his face, as The doctor advised he would likely need to be put under anesthetic, which would be further risk to the dog's health. So we felt that it was not necessary to put him under to shave his face at that time.
Okay, thank you, Officer Gum. Mr. Vashko, your client has her hand raised, but I'm not going to allow her to speak until you grant permission. First of all, we're not done with the animal control side of the case just yet, but ma'am, I just wanted to let you know that since you are represented by counsel here, counsel will need to approve your speaking before you do. At this point, however, just procedurally, since we're going to stay consistent, Mr. Vashko, did you want to question Officer Gum?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Go
Officer
ahead, sir.
Gum, if you don't mind, can you speak up a little bit because I can barely hear you. I don't know if everyone else is having that problem, but it's a very low microphone where you are. My first question is, when you receive an animal, like when you received Apollo, where is Apollo kept?
Apollo's being kept in one of our isolation units. He is not in public view, and he is kept under secure monitoring.
And what is the? I mean, is this a room? Is it?
Yes, it's an isolation room. There's limited cages. It's often an area that we either use for animals that are for cruelty cases, animals that cannot stand the loudness of the main kennel, or animals that just need smaller, quiet rooms.
Okay, so there's no other animals or objects in the room?
No other animals or objects that you can make contact with. The way our kennels are set up, it's a space that has two sides. There is a run where a small door can be dropped between the two to separate one half from the other for cleaning purposes or for feeding. He has a raised plastic bed and then a food and water bowl in these enclosures.
Okay. With regard to what was the date that you received Apollo?
Or 21-25.
Okay, and when you were showing those pictures, why did I not notice any of the markings on Apollo's face in those pictures?
I believe it was due to the quality of the photos and the fact that Apollo would not sit still.
Okay.
As I said, it was the best I could manage by myself with a dog that was stressed and would not sit still.
Well, I mean, this is to me this is a problem because I didn't see any injuries in the video, nor did I see anything in those pictures. So how do we know that there any of those injuries were there that day? That's a question. Did you actually see the injuries that day?
I did not see them in my initial inspection. However, he was not holding.
Okay, so if you did not see the injuries, perhaps they did not occur that day. Is that correct?
Injuries also take time to develop in certain occasions. That's why we were documenting him over time to see if bruises would appear on his skin.
I'm not talking about bruises. I'm talking about laceration. Lacerations are normally pretty immediate, aren't they?
I am not a veterinarian, sir.
Well, okay. Is the veterinarian here?
Dr. McCaw is not on this call. However, I believe Dr. Hemmer is.
Okay. But you,
Just so
based
we're
on
clear,
your observation,
Dr.
I'm sorry.
I just want to make clear that the veterinarian that's on this call is a member of this commission and is not a witness, therefore not subject to cross-examination. Continue, Mr. Ivashko.
Thank you very much. So okay, but just to be clear, and I don't want to do an ask and answer thing. I just want to just make clear on the day that Apollo came to you, you did not notice any actual physical injuries on him.
Not that I recall.
Okay. And did you notice that of him walking in any weird way with a limp or anything?
He did not have any physical response to pain when I was pressing on him in gentle areas, as I was not exactly sure at that time where he was struck. I did a light physical evaluation. where I
And then
was
when you
poking and prodding.
when you did shave him, we saw those pictures. We understand that you had to do that, you know, to try to find you. You actually saw no bruising. Is that correct?
In that specific area, no.
Okay. And just to make sure I understand, when you touched him and you did like a touch test with him, there was no weird wincing by the animal, or there was no reaction to any kind of potential pain, correct?
No, not that I could observe.
Okay. That is all that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything further from animal control? Okay, I'm sorry, Officer Gum, go ahead.
I would like to note that the scabbing indicates that the injuries were not fresh. Like they happened over time. So while I observed the scabbing on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, I might not have been able to observe them on the initial date due to the dog not sitting still. He is a very hyperactive and or very stressed dog here at the shelter. So when we are taking him out for exams to examine his face, we have to hold his face as present by the hands on his face in multiple photos. There it takes at least 2 to 3 people to manage him for photographs.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Vashko, in light of that additional testimony, do you have any further cross-examination?
Yes, Officer Gum, considering that he is a hyperactive, unruly animal, and may have been in a stressful environment and situation that he was not accustomed to, is it at all possible that those injuries may have come at a later date?
I do not believe so, as nobody has reported him doing any behaviors such as charging his cage or anything of the sort.
Well, is it possible?
I do not know.
Okay,
It's been asked and answered. All right, anything further from animal control?
Not at this time.
Okay, we will move on to the defendant's case. Mr. Vashko, I will let you take the lead, although your client has raised her hand several times. I think she's chomping at the bit to talk.
Okay. May I have a moment to confer with my client? Or is that not allowed here?
It is a rather unusual request, only because we have other people in the queue waiting for their cases to be heard. I want to be respectful, and we don't normally have attorneys at this level. I'd be willing to give you like a minute or two max, but not much more than that.
Okay, just 1 minute if you don't mind. I'm gonna mute my mic. Darling, please mute yours, and I'm gonna call you right now for literally 60 seconds. Thank you very much.
Not all I'm going to give you. Go ahead. You're welcome.
Thank you for your indulgence. She's ready to give her testimony now.
Okay, is she just going to give a statement, or are you going to question her?
Oh, she's going to give a statement, and then I'm going to question the same way as the other ones, if that's proper in this venue.
No, that's fine. I just did not want to, step on your authority. So go ahead, Miss Darling.
Hello, everyone. I'm Darling Melnichenko. I am the pet owner of Apollo Melnichenko. He is 4 years old. On that day, my dog had defecated in my car, diarrhea-wise. I had, pulled him out of my car by his collar, and I gently spanked him. I've never kicked him. I would never kick him or any animal for that fact. You know, I'm definitely a big animal lover. I definitely am a big animal supporter, as I do come to the shelter to donate things. I also go to Pet Supplies Plus to get my dog treats, which I have been doing for Apollo since he has been there. You know, Apollo is accustomed to a very good, luxurious lifestyle. Sleeping on a cot, that's a very, very big transition for him, you know. And I don't know if Officer Gum or even Officer Roger Simpson can attest to that. I've been dropping blankets off for Apollo and dog treats for Apollo, along with my father, you know, because, and please, anyone correct me if I'm wrong, it's healthy for a dog to be, you know, kind of used to what they're used to, the blankets, the scents, just their comfort level. And, you know, unfortunately in this circumstance, he's in a cage. I don't know how big, how small it is, but it's been important that we make him as comfortable there as possible. Again, because he does live a very, very good life. I don't know if Miss Cortez is here. I just can't see her. But I've been sending her videos of just, you know, the life that Apollo and I live. I specifically chose his breed because I'm a very outdoorsy person. And you'll see videos and pictures of my dog, you know, just going on adventures with me and my daughter. You know, that's what we do. We go fishing, we'll go hiking, we play sports. We do have a blue heeler as well, a miniature blue heeler specifically. And honestly, we call her his girlfriend because they are two peas in a pod. When Apollo goes, she follows most of the time. So, but it's also, you know, important to just kind of have these bonding moments with my dog as well. I've had Apollo since 2021, you know, when COVID was still kind of in the midst of it. And he's just been a really, really good dog. And he is still a very, very good dog. I've trained, you'll see here in this video, perfect example of my dog just learning his basic commands. He's probably about 1.5 here. A very big dog, as Officer Gum and Private First Class, I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher his name. Sturchak, I believe his last name is. You know, Apollo is very, very well behaved. I do want to let people know he doesn't speak English. I specifically trained him to not learn English and take commands in English because it's important that he understands that. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was playing this. Thank you, Ms. Cortez. I think it's very important that Apollo understands who's guiding him and leading him and who his owner is. Now, Officer Gum, you had mentioned that you have been doing an analysis on Apollo.
Down.
Yep.
Stay.
Did you want me to respond to that question?
No. Sorry, excuse me, Officer Gum. I just wanted to let you know, Apollo does not do well in like veterinary settings, and even more so with like just like 4 or 5 people around him. It's probably just overwhelming. So I just wanted to state that as well. This is when he was 1.5. So definitely speaking cheer. And then we transition to teaching him in other languages. And I believe Miss Cortez has a video of Apollo, myself, and our miniature blue heeler at our beach here in Savannah Park. Just playing in the water. That's the daily life of Apollo. We're always out and about. That's at Quiet Waters. Here's my boy.
Ready? Let's go.
That's my boy. And this is his little girlfriend. a dog lives a good life. I make sure of that. It's very important that we take care of ourselves and we take care of our pets. We are all our pets really know. And it's imperative in this case for all of us to understand that the animals we choose maintain not just a very good life, but are taken care of medically by ourselves or vets. That goes in any kind of way, physically, mentally, emotionally. And all dogs are good dogs. That's for sure.
All right. Ms. Milochenko, thank you very much. First off, Ms. Cortez, do you have any of those pictures that were provided for the actual on the incident day of what happened inside Ms. Milochenko's vehicle? The fecal explosion?
From the witnesses or anything like that? Is that what you're asking?
No. We provided you pictures of the actual fecal matter in the car.
I never. Give me a couple minutes, and let me go check through my email again.
I can share my screen.
I got all the videos.
I can share my screen if you want.
I could just let you do that, counsel, so we can move on.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Actually, I think Ms. Cortez has to give you permission to share your screen in this hearing.
Okay.
Because
Does
we're
your
not
screen
seeing
say
it.
share? You have a share screen option at the bottom? Because as a panelist, you should have that permission.
I do.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
So, Ms. Milochenko, and I apologize to the panel and everybody. It's pretty graphic. Is this what Apollo did in your car on that day in question?
Yes.
Okay, and so besides this, I mean, was he clean at the time, or was he dirty?
He was clean at the time.
So he was clean, but did he have any of the fecal matter on his body after this, or?
No, probably just a little on his butt.
Gotcha. And when you saw this, what was your reaction?
I was disgusted. It was just really nasty to look at. And
Is this normally normal behavior for Apollo?
No.
Well, why do you think he had such an explosion of fecal matter?
I'm really not too sure.
Had you been to any locations in the past day that he could have eaten or drank something?
Counsel, I realize this is an informal hearing, but I'm not going to let you lead your client. She either knows or doesn't, and you're leading her pretty hard right now.
Oh no, I'm just trying to figure out myself, because it's not normal. Okay, that's fine. So after this happened, what exactly did you do?
When I saw this, I pulled Apollo out of the car and I gently spanked him. I walked over him, tripped a little bit. There was some kind of debris on the ground. Walked over Apollo and I gently spanked him.
And where did you spank him?
On his thigh.
Okay. And with regards to the comments that were made that you slapped him in the face.
I never slapped Apollo in the face. I would never slap Apollo in the face.
How about the comments regarding you kicking him?
No, that has never happened. It will never happen. I would never do that to Apollo.
So can you give any reason why you think that there would be these markings that appeared over time on Apollo's face?
We have a little dog. They play together all the time. It's just playful. Just
I think Officer Gum is raising her hand.
yeah. I didn't know that.
Okay, she is, and I will give animal control an opportunity to cross-examine once you are finished, but we're gonna finish up with your examination, Mr. Ivashko, and then we'll move on.
All right, thank you very much.
Excuse me, real quick. Is it possible to get the picture of the diarrhea off the screen? Or is that
Oh.
important that it's up there at this moment? I'm
I'm
sorry.
I'm really apologize. Sorry about that.
That's no big deal. It was getting to be a little much. Thanks.
Yes, I apologize. I sorry.
It's okay.
My apologies. So, Ms. Melnichenko, you stated that your dog does not understand much English. What language do you train your dog in?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Okay. So does your dog tend to listen to you?
Yes.
Okay.
In Ukrainian.
Does your dog listen to anyone else in your family?
Yes, those who speak in Ukrainian.
Okay, and who else is a primary owner of Apollo?
My father, George Melnichenko.
Was he the one who purchased Apollo?
No.
Okay.
He helps me take care of Apollo.
Okay. So, would you say that it is a family dog?
He is a family dog.
Okay. And Apollo himself has the testimony from Officer Gum was that he was hyperactive and everything. Is that your experience with him?
Apollo being hyperactive?
Yes.
He's a hyperactive dog.
Okay. No, just a question. Just a question. So we get an idea of his personality. So you mentioned that you did not that you did gently spank him, correct? But you did not kick him. And also, did you punch Apollo with closed fists?
No.
Did you do anything that day that made somebody from a distance may have thought that you had closed fists for some reason?
No.
Okay, so I know you can't read someone's mind, but why would someone say that?
All right, I'm gonna stop. That's all right, stop. I realize there's no one on the other side to object, but we're way into speculation here.
Well, honestly, I mean, if someone is saying these things, and that's what the panel is going to rely on, I think it is in my client's best interest to say, if there's another explanation for it, especially because there's no other witness.
Explanation. If there's another explanation that doesn't require her to speculate, I mean, if something occurred that might have done that, I'd allow that. All right, why don't we go ahead and hear the answer, and then we'll make the decision.
Yeah. Well, I can rephrase, no problem. Darling, did you at any moment in frustration close your fists that day?
No.
Okay. All right. That's all I have for direct.
Right. I've seen a couple hand raised, and I want to take everybody in turn, give everybody their chance. But Officer Gum, I'm assuming you have questions from Miss Darling.
My main question, as I noticed it was not noted in any of the reports so far, is how long was Apollo left unattended in the vehicle?
Not very long.
About how long would you say?
About less than 10 minutes. And I leave my dog with windows down, AC all the way on, and water. And I can go to my car now if you would like to see his water bowls.
I have a question. If that's okay.
That's all I have.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So we didn't talk about how the dog was left behind in the parking lot with no one you knew, that you took off without your dog that you care about for how many minutes? Let's see. 6 minutes. So we didn't talk about that.
Is there a question in there for Miss Darling?
I just want to know why the dog was left behind.
Thank you.
Is this Can I talk
Yes,
to my
Ms. Darling, you can
attorney?
answer the question.
Oh,
At this point, no, I've already given you guys time to talk.
Yes.
The officers asked you a question. You're in the middle of cross-examination, so
yes, ma'am.
go
Yes,
ahead and answer.
I gotten in my car, one, to, really just calm myself down. And two, to air my car out. It was really, really just smelled horrid. So, and when I was calm, I came back to get my dog.
That's all I have.
Well, Jackie, thank you, sir. Jackie, you had a question?
Thank you. I have several questions, if I may, please. Number one, do we know what the temperature was that day?
Are you asking just a general question, or are you asking this of Miss Darling?
I guess of Officer Skircheck
It was cooler out. That's why I didn't really press the issue of her leaving an unattended dog in a vehicle.
Okay.
It was kind of cooler out, so.
Okay, thank you very much. And for Miss Mashenko, it's noted here that Apollo was not licensed. Can you tell me why, please?
Licensed.
Licensed with the county as required by law?
I have papers. I believe I have papers with like metal tags on them. Is that what that is?
No, those are your rabies tags.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. My next question is, in the videos that are really cute and he looks like a delightful dog, where are those videos taken?
Savannah Park. And then
And the
there's,
I'm sorry.
go
So-
ahead, Owen, I didn't want to interject.
I'm sorry, so Savannah Park, how about the ones playing in the water with the waterfall?
That is, what is that called? I would have to go back and look at the location
Is it
of it.
Patapsco State Park?
I believe so.
It
Yeah,
looks like, it looked to me like the
looks-
waterfall, one of the waterfalls of Patapsco,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
sorry, I don't remember the
Okay,
location.
so my final question, ma'am, is are you aware that both DNR, who owns and manages Patapsco Valley State Park, and Savannah Park is in the county, are you aware of the leash laws that your dog may not be off leash in those areas that you have the video of?
So the beach is Quiet Waters Beach, I believe. That's at the dog park. I thought we were allowed to have them.
Yes, in a dog park you are,
Okay.
but not in other areas of the county.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I
And
didn't know.
and
Why
just
would I?
for reference, Department of Natural Resources, the state, does not allow dogs off leash in the parks.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ms.
Yes.
Cohen, if I may ask, where can I go about finding these, just rules and laws so that I can abide by them?
Well,
It's Title 4 of the Anne Arundel County Code, ma'am.
yes. And then the Department of Natural Resources have their regulations regarding animals in the park.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know if they're posted on parks or
I'll
things?
email that to you, ma'am, after this meeting.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the reason that I know that, I used to be volunteer mounted patrol for Department of Natural Resources. And
Okay.
the part of my responsibility was to inform the public of the regulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question, for Miss Cohen.
Go ahead quickly,
Yes.
ma'am.
The licensing, I didn't realize that was requirement. Is it
Okay, actually, we can, all right, I'm going to stop this right here because
Yes.
it's not the commission's job to give legal advice. And we're really not permitted to do that. So when the hearing is over, if you have any further questions about animal licensing and the such, you can contact animal control and they will gladly give you all that information. Dr. Hemmer, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, just a real quick question on the videos that we were shown showing the dog playing with one of those ball throwing things. There's a voice in the background in English saying, "Stay, stay, stay," and walked away. Who was speaking in that video?
That's me. That's when
Okay,
Apollo was about 1 or 1.5 when I was
right.
teaching
Was
him.
that Ukrainian you were speaking to him in?
No, I eventually transitioned to Ukrainian as he got older.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from commission members for Ms. Darling? Council, any redirect in light of the questions that you've heard?
Yes, Ms. Milichenko, you say that you left for a couple of minutes to cool down. Um, where exactly did you drive to? How far away?
Not far. Parking lot right nearby.
So you were still in the vicinity where you could see your dog.
Correct.
Okay. Um, uh, and pending that you do receive Apollo back, you are going to get all your licensing taken care of. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Jackie, last question.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I apologize. I forgot this one. Do we know what the status is of the abuse citation or charge? What is what is that status? When will it be heard?
That is separate from animal control. That is strictly the police officer who went out. So that's something completely separate from us that we will follow up with the
Yeah,
police.
I'm just looking for the timing if we know it.
June 30th.
Knows it.
June 30th is the hearing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything further that has not already been discussed?
Yes, Ms. Brianza, I do have one statement to make. If for some reason the panel does not agree to release Apollo to, I promise you, a very loving owner here. Her father contacted me last night in tears and said, please have mercy and at least release Apollo to him. I myself could pick up the animal and bring him to the father if that is a reasonable alternative. If for some reason you still do not believe that that he should be released to Ms. Milimchenko, that is just an option that I'd like to lay out for the panel, because the family really does miss him and need him as a support animal.
Where does the father live with Miss Darling? I'm
Uh,
sorry, I keep calling you Miss Darling, but that is not your name, and I apologize because I just realized I have been doing that throughout the entire hearing. And please forgive me. I'm just saying that because that's what I see on the screen, and I meant no disrespect.
No, Your Honor, and that's not a problem. That is Milichenko's a mouthful to say. The father, George Milichenko, who is a veteran, and actually has his home, and Ms. Darling Milichenko lives with him. And so that's why Mr. Milichenko often does take care of the animal as well. So and that's why, like I said, he called me last night. I've never heard him like that, for what it's worth. The stress that he's under without having access to Apollo.
I just want to make a quick note that Ms. Milichenko is the only person who can redeem the dog given the circumstances of the case. The dog will not be released to anyone else. Family, not family, same house, no house. The dog can only be redeemed by her.
Ms. Cortez is correct. I don't think animal control cannot release the dog to anyone but the owner unless the dog's been placed for adoption, which the dog has not. And the dog's not in foster care either. So I just we're bound by the regulations just as
Well,
everyone
technically
else.
he's a co-owner. That's the whole thing. Absolutely. So that is the case here.
Given the circumstances, though, with her name attached to everything owner-wise, whether there's a co-owner or not, if she can't redeem the dog, no one else will be able to redeem the dog pending any appeals or court hearings that are going on. We have to keep the dog with us if they don't give the dog back today.
That is a separate issue between animal control and Ms. Pachenko. Anything else that we have not heard? Okay, I'm going to close the hearing for deliberation.
All right, go ahead, Jen.
Thank you. Dr. Hemmer, I want to say, I just want to say thank you for bringing up the language in the videos, because I heard Ms. Pachenko saying good boy, and I heard the stay as well, because I was a little concerned about the dog not being able to understand English when it was while the dog was in custody. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I guess I'm just, as our resident animal expert, I'm going to start with you, Dr. Hemmer.
Okay. If I'm understanding the matter before us, we need to do two things. That is to assert that the county taking custody was appropriate, and then whether or not to release the animal. Based on what I heard today and the witnesses on the officer's body cam, I felt the officer acted in the best interest of the dog, and he acted in the best interest of public safety. Given the circumstances and the information that he had at that time, I think his actions were appropriate and necessary. And I believe his actions of taking that dog into custody are appropriate, number one. The second matter in terms of releasing, I just have concerns about that. I am not inclined to want to release the dog to her. Certainly, I've had a number of dogs poop in my car, and I can appreciate the frustration that goes along with that. But, a stern voice and an angry voice is okay, but I can never at any level condone any kind of physical contact or abuse. I just have concerns releasing back to the owner. And those were my thoughts.
Okay. I just wanted to comment to Miss, and I don't want to mispronounce it. I feel bad that I was calling her improperly the entire hearing. But that Miss Melnichenko indicated that the dog was only in the vehicle for about 10 minutes. But this occurred at Annapolis Mall, and she had a small child with her. Just walking from the vehicle to the mall itself in that parking lot would have taken, roughly 10 minutes. So I think the dog had been left alone in the vehicle a lot longer than what was indicated. Like I said, if it was just that 10-minute time frame that she said, literally she would have walked from the vehicle to the door of the mall and back and done nothing else inside the mall. The timing just doesn't work. But all right, Nicole.
So you guys, the questions that the commission members were asking were all here on my list. The English, it's very clear to me that he knows English. I have personally handled the dog. He's fabulous. He definitely knows English, so that's not a concern for him while he's been impounded. He is an expert fetcher. This boy lives to play fetch. I had one of the little chuck it things, and we did that for a very, very long time. So he is definitely having, not suffering while he's impounded. Again, I fell in love with him. He's a great dog. And, Jackie, you got the off leash. As soon as I saw those videos, I was like, I have to ask where this is. And so you got that spot on. And I wanted to know why the dog was in the vehicle outside of a mall, regardless of windows down. The windows are down, but yet the air conditioner is on full blast. So, there's a little bit of question there. And let's not forget about the abandonment. She abandoned that dog in that parking lot, regardless of she supposedly went to a parking lot where she could see him. She left him. And so I believe that the officer was doing what was in the best interest of the dog. He was well within his rights to do so. Those witnesses, there were 4 that were there that witnessed it. They have no reason to lie, and they were all talking in unison. They saw what they saw, and they have no reason to lie about it. So I vote to not return Apollo.
Thank you, Nicole. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna belabor this. That what Nicole said is exactly what I've been thinking the whole time. I mean, the abandonment sticks out majorly in my mind. And the 4 witnesses, again, all speaking to the same thing, seeing it all right there in front of them. I mean, it's regardless of any pointed to any injury that could have been pointed to or anything like that. It seems like this absolutely happened, and I agree, absolutely warranted by the police officer to take the dog, and then absolutely do not return.
Okay, Lieutenant McGrath?
I think the dog should stay with animal control. Leave it at that.
Thank you. Jackie?
Yes, I agree with everyone, in particular that the dog should remain with animal control until at least her hearing is regarding the abuse. And we see what the outcome is of that, and if it comes back before us again, then for the return of the dog.
Okay, so let's separate this out. So I'm going to make the first motion just for clarity. I'm going to move that, make a motion that the initial impoundment of Apollo was justified.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Okay. And then I will make a motion that Apollo remain in the care and control of, in the care and custody of animal control until the district court case.
I second.
I'll second that motion. Yep, sorry.
All right, all those in favor? Okay, thank you. Autumn, please call the next case.
If you are a participant in the Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control versus Colburn, please use the raise hand function at this time. And if you could just accept the promotion to panelist. So before I swear them in, Jen, we have Officer Herbert, who will be presenting the case, Ms. Finnick, who was the victim in this case, and then Ms. Colburn, who is the owner of Oddeye. If we could all unmute and turn on our cameras, please.
Can I just ask a question? We heard this case already, though. No.
No, so that was, I brought it up first because she was requesting a postponement. So I was trying to see if we were going to postpone it or not. Because if we were going to postpone it, then we just get it out of the way. But you said that we would continue on with it.
No, I understand that for today, but for some reason the name Oddeye is standing out to me.
So
maybe because it was on last month's document. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Go ahead. Thank you.
Ms. Colburn, if you could please turn on your camera and unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, but your camera's not on.
How do I turn the camera on then?
I just sent you a request to start your video. If you could just accept it. Still
okay.
Second. I still cannot see your video. Is your camera blocked?
No.
Are you using a cell phone or a computer?
Cell phone.
There you are.
I see me.
Okay. If I could get everyone to raise their right hand for me. Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And then I'll start with Officer Herbert, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Officer Herbert, 411 Maxwell Fry Road, Millersville, Maryland, 21108, Anne Arundel County.
Ms. Finnick, if you could do the same.
April Fink, 7736 Glen Avenue, Pasadena, Maryland, 21122.
I apologize for saying your name the wrong way.
You're fine.
And then Ms. Colburn, if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Vera Colburn, 766 207th Street, Pasadena, Maryland, 21122.
I will turn this over to you now, Jen.
All right, Officer Herbert, we'll start with you.
Good morning. It was reported to Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control that on February 18th, 2025, your dog Adi, a Siberian Husky, black, gray, and white in color, neutered male, while running at large, was involved in a fatal attack to a flock of chickens and ducks. During this incident, your dog was in violation of Anne Arundel County Code 124402, Public Safety Threat 3, kills or inflicts injury to domesticated animal, and Article 12.4-905, animals running at large. In the beginning, Ms. Colburn denied that it was her dog. Apparently, there's a lot of Huskies in her neighborhood. So there was a little bit of back and forth for clarification, but there is documentation that she was out looking for her dog, Adi, a Husky, and her other dog, Kisses, which they both were returned to the owner. I think her daughter picked up one and she got the other one. But there is documentation on Facebook, text, and whatnot. So I did finally convince Ms. Colburn to bring Adi here to the shelter under the public safety impound. She was very cooperative in that way. The dangerous order was issued, had to do a couple of inspections, but she did pass inspection. Adi is presently at home, although he's been reported to be running at large last week 4 times with her other dogs. So I'll probably have to go do another inspection.
No.
I gotten out. He did not get out.
Well, in any
All
event.
right. Okay, I'm sorry. Who's
fine.
talking?
It's fine. So that's where we're at. He's home and she's in compliance at this point.
Okay. Anything else,
No.
Officer Herbert?
No.
All right, then I would like to hear from Miss, is it Fink?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
So I received a phone call from my husband that the dog was at first in our duck cage. My husband went out. The dog came out of the duck cage as he was running around. He then saw that the dog was then inside the chicken coop, which he went down towards that, which is, I don't know, a couple feet away. And then the dog started lunging towards him. And then he took off. So I actually got camera footage from my Ring camera and then went down and took pictures. And I contacted the police and animal control. And I did post it on Neighborhood Watch, like, whose dog is this? And then a bunch of people were saying that somebody go find it. And then she posted that the dog, it was her dog. And I told her to contact me, which I put my phone number on there. And she arrived at my house and insisted for me to find her dog, and started screaming and yelling at me, which I didn't know where her dog was. It took off. Oh, sorry. Part of my camera was blocked. Sorry.
All right, I just have one quick question. Is your husband not here today since he's the one who actually was there and witnessed everything?
He is not. We are actually dealing with a family emergency. I was not 100% sure if he needed to be here or not because the last time he was, and then it got postponed. But we are dealing with a family emergency, unfortunately.
Okay. And you indicated there was that you had Ring camera footage?
Yeah. Yes,
Did you
they
turn
took
that?
pictures. Yes, she just showed pictures the animal control lady did of the dog in my front yard. That is the front yard. The animals are off to the side down the back of my house.
These photos are not dated. What date were these photos taken? Do we have a date?
It was, I
No, I
was
see.
trying to do screenshots off of my phone. I do apologize.
Right. So I've seen times, but I haven't seen a date yet.
I don't know how to do the screenshots on the Ring camera with the actual dates.
Okay, you could testify to the date, ma'am. What date were these pictures taken on by your Ring camera?
At this time, I don't remember the date. I don't have my paperwork in front of me right now.
Jen, the dates are listed next to these photos right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can, but I'm not sure that that's I understand that the rules of evidence are relaxed, but I mean, I could go in and change that file name right now. I was looking for something on the Ring camera footage or a statement from the witness that, but regardless. Okay. Is there anything else from either the county or Ms. Fink?
No.
Great. So, I'm sorry. Yes?
No.
No, I said no, sorry.
Jackie, you had a question?
Just for clarification, as we talked about the photos, are there any photos showing the dog with the birds?
No, there are not. I do not have photos of that. No, our main concern was to get the dog out of the cages.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for either Officer Herbert or Ms. Fink? All right, then Ms. Colburn, what would you like to tell us?
Adai has never attacked another animal, ever. He is like a big teddy bear. Yes, he has gotten out, but he has not gotten out the past 4 times since the dangerous dog order. That's not true.
Well, right now, let's focus on what brought us to the dangerous dog order. So what do you want to tell me about the alleged attack on the chickens and ducks?
There's no proof that it was even him. There are other huskies that get loose in this neighborhood. There's no proof that was even my dog in those photos.
Okay. We just let the record reflect that we're viewing social media posts being presented by Ms. Cortez.
I'm sorry to
Okay.
interrupt. Can I please mute my camera just because I'm at work and there's a lot of traffic of trucks out and I know that I keep popping up of the noise in the background.
Yeah, yes, you can mute if you need
Okay,
to.
I just
Oh,
didn't
but,
want it to interrupt you guys.
unless, Jackie has her hand raised for a question. Who is that question for, Jackie?
For Miss Colburn.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Fink, you can turn your camera on.
Okay,
Thank you.
sorry, I just didn't want to interrupt.
Autumn, can you pull up the picture of the dog again, please? Yeah. Miss Colburn, is that your dog, One Eye?
It could be odd eye.
Excuse me, Odd Eye.
Black is the
Sorry.
favorite color. And odd eye has a brown patch on this side of his face. And I don't see that on this dog.
How about the tail? If we could see the photo of him from the backside again, it's a pretty predominant looking tail.
It's a husky thing.
There's a yeah, he has a very predominant white tip on his tail. Does
That
Odd Eye have that?
it's still huskies look like that. That's common for huskies.
Do you have a picture of Odd Eye that you could share?
How would I take a picture of him? I don't know how
Is Odd Eye there with you?
Yes.
Can you turn your camera towards?
There's Odd Eye.
Oh, never mind, we see it. Okay.
And also, she said her husband beat the dog with a stick, beat him in the head and all. There's no damage on that dog anywhere. And I sent pictures to Officer Herbert of Odd Eye. There's no damage on that dog.
He's friendly as hell.
No, they have pictures of him.
All right, is someone else speaking in the background, Ms. Colburn?
Yes.
Okay, that person has not been sworn in, so please ask that person to refrain from commenting during the hearing.
Dave, stop.
Is it possible to put side by side a picture of the dog in the yard and Odd Eye in the kennel for us to compare for identification?
Sorry.
Give me 1 second. I will do that now.
While you're doing that, I have a quick question for Ms. Fink. Is there a reason why that we're seeing stills from the ring photo or ring video and not the video in its entirety? The reason I'm asking is because if the dog, it looks like the video, at least the one I saw, maybe was 26 seconds in length. Is that just because it triggers and goes by and then lasts that long? I'm interested to see, like, if the dog moved in a given direction, where it would have had to go if it went in that direction, if it went on and off camera, if it stayed there. Is there, those are the questions I have. Like, why, is it just a technical thing? You didn't know how to send the video or something?
So I have my ring set to motion and then it'll pick up and then it lasts for like a couple seconds. That's the only reason why I don't have it like a constant record, because it takes the memory. I can try to send the whole video, possibly. I don't.
So I guess my question is, in the picture where the dog is moving from right to left, if it continued to move to the left, it would, I think you described it would move down into your yard. Is that where the ducks and chickens would be if it moved down to the left? So I guess my question is, if the video shows the dog leave camera left for amount of time and then come back, I mean, I'm just trying to establish that potentially that animal, regardless whether that's Odd Eye or not, went into your yard, was there for some time and then came back out. Or if it just looked right there and turned around the left. That would help me out a little if you had it.
Yeah, so where the flags are on the right side of this picture, or the left side of this picture, there's a walkway down there and the dog went that way. It did not get the dog coming out because the dog ran across the back part of my yard into my neighbor's yard, which we live on the water. so it can get to the other neighbor's yard because we are not allowed to have fences towards the water. It's got to be like 100 feet away from the water.
Okay, but can I just clarify though, when you say the dog ran away and went wherever, you did not actually see any of this, did you?
On the camera, that's the only footage that I have of the dog going down. And then my husband and my son both heard the dog in the duck cage. And then that's when my husband saw the dog.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do we have any additional evidence or any additional questions for either party? Okay, I'm going to close the hearing for deliberations. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie, you had a question?
Oh, I'm sorry, not for them. When we get into deliberation, I apologize. I gotta have my.
Okay, thank you. All right. Go ahead. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead, Jackie.
Thank you. Autumn, could you pull those pictures up again, please, of the dog?
I just was
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think this is an extremely important part of what we need to talk about. To me, I don't think they're the same dogs. If you look at,
You know,
and I know we
I'm
can't-
not seeing how we prove it's the dog, and we,
Yeah. Well, if you,
I don't have any proof at this point that the dog in the picture killed those chickens and ducks.
Right.
I'm just struggling with, I mean, well,
Yeah.
I don't doubt what,
I don't think they're the same dog. I don't think the dog in the picture is the same dog as in the kennel, looking particularly at the front legs and looking closely. Odd Eye in the kennel has white legs. It looked like the white goes predominantly all around the front legs, where the dog in the picture has dark legs, at least on the outside. And even there, it's not so predominantly white as Odd Eye is. So the point that I'm making is that, again, like you said, Jennifer, I don't think we can appropriately determine that it was Odd Eye that did the attack.
Dr. Hummer?
Yeah, let me throw this in there. You look at that picture that's on there now, you get the impression that left front leg is of a lighter color than the rest of the dog. And if you go back to the pictures where we saw the killed chickens and ducks, it's a muddy area. I could proffer that what you're seeing there is a white leg that's just soiled with dirt.
Okay, good point. Thank you.
Just observational.
But again,
Can't prove it. Can't prove it. And I think it's a question we need to talk about, and
yeah,
a good observation, Jackie. But if I'm trying to be devil's advocate here, those ducks were killed out in a muddy area. That's
Mhm.
just probably a dirty front leg. Look at there.
The dog in the picture also, to me, looks to be a heavier dog than what Apollo appears to
And
be.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Jackie.
Okay, Dr. Hummer, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or was that your comments for the case?
Those are my comments for the case too. And the poultry were killed by a dog. I'm not convinced it was Odd Eye. And that's where I stand.
All right, Tom?
Yeah. I think I agree. I'd be interested in, and I don't think animal control has it squared away yet, but I mean, I don't know if looking at licensing in the area, if you could say that there were other Huskies, licensed to be in the area. That might be one way to look at that. But I mean, looking at the photo, I mean, like I said, I would have liked to seen a video, if the video covered like a certain time frame, again, the date and time, not so much the date, but if two videos showed on the same date that, a dog ran by sometime with, but it sounds like we wouldn't have seen one on the way out anyway. So, yeah, I would, it's hard to know. Yeah, I don't think we could say with certainty that it was the same dog, but again, unless we know for sure, I mean, how many huskies are in that area? I don't know. I feel
I
like I'm
believe
just
Officer
throwing-
Herbert did say there were other huskies in the area, and there's comments, part of those social media comments. I mean, I don't think there's any dispute that there's at least one, maybe two other
I agree.
huskies
I mean,
in-
I'm just thinking of the chances that multiple huskies got out at the same time and both got to the same area. I mean,
Right.
it's not impossible, I guess, but it does seem very, whatever. But I'm inclined to I guess dismiss the charges there, the dangerous order. I mean, just based on the the video we have, and obviously it would have been nice to hear from the husband who actually saw the dog and could say no, 100% that was the dog.
Yeah.
But and I do feel bad the fact that he was the here and present a month ago, and we extended an extension from here, and he couldn't make it this month. I think kind of puts it. I think that does them a little bit of a disservice. So I'm a little disappointed that that's kind of how this has turned out. But other than that, I guess with what we've seen, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
All right, Jackie.
I tend to agree. I don't think there is enough evidence to be able to say absolutely that it was Odd Eye who did the damage. And even though Ms. Coburn admits herself that her dog does get out, whether it's gotten out since the order or not, we don't know. But in the past that the dog did get out and did run at large. I don't think we have enough evidence to say that the dog did the killing.
Okay. Lieutenant McGrath.
I agree. I don't think there's enough evidence to prove that the dog that did the killing was Odd Eye.
Okay, thank you. Nicole.
Question for Autumn. So say commission dismisses this, is there a PDO on the table? Is there any, what would animal control do next? Because I recognize there are multiple huskies in the house. So she did admit that was her dog, that her dog was out, and on the social media post said that was her dog. I just know that this is a recurring issue, and I'm just trying to understand what would happen. It's not going to weigh on my decision whatsoever. For my own education.
So with these cases for orders, or like the Melancheco case, your guys' recommendation goes to the chief of police, and then the chief of police either upholds or the decision. So we have to wait on that. We don't make a decision right away what to do, just because we have to wait for the chief of police's decision to come back. So the dangerous order would stay in place on Odd Eye until that comes back. As far as
That's 15 days, correct?
Yes, 15 days. So, and then in which case, they have 30 days to go to Board of Appeals should it, they don't agree with the decision, which I don't know if they would agree if it was dismissed or not agree. But then I guess we would have to just look at the video footage and just redetermine if it was Odd Eye, but, she brought Odd Eye to the shelter. She told us it was Odd Eye. Based off what Officer Herbert said and the Facebook post, I don't really know what more we could do if you guys dismiss it. So.
Okay. I
Can I just point out? Go ahead, Nicole. No, go ahead.
I just have a feeling that we're going to be back here again, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, there's been at least 5 service calls for one of her 4 huskies running at large on the highway and in the neighborhood. So that was in the past month.
I mean, it's disappointing that I think, you're right. We might end up back here. But I just didn't hear the evidence today, and that bothers me. And Tom, I understand. I mean, I do kind of feel bad that because the case was postponed, but I mean, that's part of due process, and I don't think the commission did anything wrong with the postponement.
No, I don't think we
But
did either. I just think it's disappointing that we missed a big piece of evidence because of it. But I mean, it's nothing we couldn't have foreseen that. We didn't know that they were going to have a family emergency. It's nothing. I don't put it on us. I just think it's disappointing.
right. Had they asked for the postponement today, I would have been inclined to grant it. But unfortunately, that did not happen, and the person who could have really presented the evidence today wasn't here. If there was an at-large citation for us to decide on, we could at least have handled that, but there is not. But I also want to speak to, I understand what Autumn said, that Ms. Colburn brought the dog to the shelter and said, yes, it was my dog. But realistically, even Ms. Colburn couldn't say, I mean, without something else, like saying, oh yeah, I found feathers and blood in my dog's mouth. I mean, even Ms. Colburn couldn't say for certain whether or not it was her dog, because she wasn't there either. She knows what everyone else has told her. But again, I'd be inclined to dismiss it. And Jackie, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, just clarification. When she brought the dog to the shelter, did she bring the dog to the shelter because she was ordered to bring Odd Eye to the shelter, or the dog that killed the chickens to the shelter? Because if she was just told to bring Odd Eye to the shelter, her statement saying, this is my dog, is just clarifying it's her dog.
Can I comment on that, or?
Please.
Yeah, so when she was contacted, she stated, like, confirmed what was in social media, and she said that it was her dog, Odd Eye. Sorry.
Hello.
Oh, Lord. So we didn't even know the name of the dog until Miss Colburn had told us. We didn't know if it was Odd Eye. We didn't know if it was Kisses. We didn't know if it was one of the other two Huskies in the house. So we got Odd Eye from Miss Colburn. We didn't.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Okay, just for the record, so that there isn't any concern later on, the information that Ms. Cortez just gave actually can't be evidence used in the case because the hearing itself is closed. I think I just need to spell that out. So having said that, does anyone want to make a motion?
As unfortunate as it is, I think based on what we've been presented today, I believe I have to make a motion that we dismiss the dangerous animal for this case.
Yeah, second.
Dangerous order, you mean? Okay.
Yes.
All right. All those in favor of dismissing the dangerous order?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I get
all right?
And who made the motion and who concurred? I'm sorry.
Hemmer made the motion, Berger concurred.
Thank you. All right. And then move on to the last case, Jen, for Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control versus Richardson, the appealing the dangerous order for 6. If you could use the raise hand function so I can promote you to panelist. And then Ms. Richardson, if you could please accept the request that I just sent you. I'm going to ask you both to unmute and to turn your video on. Ms. Richardson, if you could please unmute and turn your video on, please.
I'm working. How do I do the camera?
I just sent you a request to turn your video on, please.
Yes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, while you're doing this, okay. There we go. Here I am. Turn face. Okay, there we go. Okay.
All right, if you could both please raise your right hand for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you declare and affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, Officer Herbert, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Officer Herbert, 411 Maxwell Fry Road, Millersville, Maryland, 21108, Anne Arundel County.
And Ms. Richardson, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Kathleen Richardson, 4720 Washington Avenue, Shadyside, Maryland, 20764.
I will turn it over to you now, Jen.
All right, this was an appeal of a dangerous order, so we will start with animal control.
Good morning.
Mhm.
It was reported to Animal Care and Control that on March 22nd, 2025, your dog Six, a Border Collie, Min Pin, and Great Pyrenees mixed type dog, blonde in color, female, while running at large, was involved in a bite to Lisa Walton while she was trying to protect her dog Lila from being attacked by your dog Six. During this incident, your dog was in violation of Anne Arundel County Code Article 12-4-402, A, public safety threat, bites a person, attacks a person, while at large without provocation, chases or approaches a lawfully restrained domesticated animal in an attitude of attack. And Article 12-4-905, animals running at large.
Yes, he is. Good, my baby.
It has also been reported to Anne Arundel County Animal Care and Control that on May 12th, 2020, your dog Six was involved in a human exposure, and that on July 24th, 2020, a minor animal attack while running at large with your other dog Diamond.
Now, the first one, I don't
Ma'am,
recall.
ma'am,
No,
Miss Richardson,
no.
Officer Herbert is not done yet. I will let you
Okay,
know when it's
but-
your turn to speak. Autumn, could you please mute Miss Richardson until it is her turn?
Okay.
Officer Herbert, can you give me that second date again, please?
Yes, July 24th, 2020. And
It's 20.
Six is currently in the care and control, care and custody of Animal Care and Control. Ms. Richardson's attempting to comply, but she doesn't have a fixed address. She's staying with a friend and needs permission from her landlord. So it's been a while. The order was issued to her on March 28th.
Okay. All right. Is there, do we have the victim here?
Miss Walton?
Yes.
I don't see her.
No, she's not here because I offer it to the victim to be here, but because we already investigated and gathered all the evidence, I don't require it for them to be here, just given the gravity of the situation and being attacked by a dog and having to relive it.
Can we see the pictures again? I know they were in the drive and I viewed them briefly. And where is that an arm or a leg? That's an arm, correct?
That is her arm, correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else from animal control?
No, ma'am.
All right, any questions from commission members for Officer Herbert? All right, Ms. Richardson, you can now tell us what you'd like us to know.
Okay, the first incident in 2020, I don't recall. I don't know what that was about. I do recall the second one. She did get out with the other, a child opened the door and they both ran out and started nipping at the girl next door. But they weren't tight because she got to screaming, high pitched, loud scream and batting. And then the mother came out with like a broom or something. And so Six's defense was defending herself. She was abused as a puppy by my ex-boyfriend. But anyway, and she's not a mean, vicious dog. She's not a dangerous dog. She's really not. You know, the house where we live in, they have 2 little dogs and 2 other big dogs and a cat, and she doesn't harm them. You know, she's almost always contained. There was a freak incident that she got out, and she was going out, honestly, to go play with the little dogs. She likes little dogs. So she was going out to play, but the woman, Miss Walton, you said, started flailing and batting at 6, and so she nipped, and then she ran away.
The dog is 6.
6, yes.
What kind of dog is 6?
6 is a Great Pyrenees Border Collie Min Pin. The sire was a Great Pyrenees purebred, big dog, about 120 pounds, and the mother was a Min Pin mix that weighed about 40 pounds. So 6 is somewhere in the middle. And she's 11 years. I've had
Okay,
her
you
since
actually witnessed the incident that day?
I did. I was right on her heels. I almost had her before she got out the door, but she slipped out of my grip.
And the dog ran straight for your neighbor?
Well, they were walking. She was walking her dog, and she stopped like right at the end of our sidewalk. The interior door was open. The storm door was closed, but 6 managed to get the latch, and out she went. I think she was surprised, as I was, that she got out. Yeah, and she just went to, seeing about the dog, but the woman freaked out. And I suppose I
I'm a
can't
little
blame her for that.
confused. So the victim was walking past the house you live in, is that correct?
Correct. She was on the street,
But
and we were sitting. I was laying on the bed watching television. The dog was laying on the bed at my feet. And
I'm just the reason I'm confused is I thought I heard you say that the victim who was walking in front of your house grabbed a broom.
no. That was for the 2022 incident. That was farther back.
Okay, all right. Okay, Ms. Richardson, so are you asking the commission to dismiss the dangerous order? Are you asking the commission to modify the order in some way?
I would love it dismissed, but I'm sure that I'm probably not going to get that. But a modification would be good, because she's allowed to come back here. She lives with people. Officer Herbert has witnessed my friend and roommate Patty with her. She's a happy, friendly dog. She's just I've had her since she was 2 weeks old, 11 years. She's never left my side. She's good.
Is your
Everybody
friend, first of all, is your friend the homeowner?
her brother is the homeowner, and I do have
Okay.
a letter from him for stating that the dog is allowed to come back.
Okay. Have you turned that letter over to animal control? Officer Herbert is shaking her head no.
No, because I have not, because I just received it. Because I thought I was going to be there in person today, so I was going to have all my paperwork and bring it to her. But I got the renter's insurance. We have the fence. I got the gates. I got the secondary barriers.
Okay, so what part of the dangerous order are you asking the commission to modify?
Like the harness and muzzle, and having to notify neighbors and all that kind of stuff, because she's never had a big cage. She's 99.9% of the time she is contained. She walks on a leash. She walks well. She does it. That was a rare occasion when I got to have her with me, because my roommate was gone with her 2 little dogs, and we were just here chilling, and she got out.
Okay. Officer Herbert, I read through this briefly, and I know that the homeowner's consent was one of the issues for her not being in compliance. Assuming that the statement she has is valid, and the homeowner is in agreement, what are the other areas in which she is not in compliance with the dangerous order?
6 is not spayed nor microchipped, so that has to be done.
Okay.
As our schedule allows it, and then I just need to do the final inspection. With
Okay,
that
and then,
obvious
but
letter. So it took a while for her to get the homeowner's insurance, and that's what the landlord was waiting on. He was not going to give permission until she had insurance. So she got that. So I just need.
yeah, I saw that in the phone. Okay.
Yep.
Where is 6? Where is 6 now? Still with
Here at
animal control?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you would like to tell us, Ms. Richardson?
I've been miserable without my dog. She's my life support. She's everything. Like I said, she's never left my side for 11 years. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I cry all the time. You know, my friends miss her. Her dogs miss her. They every time we open the bedroom door, they look over to the laundry room because that's where 6 was mainly housed, in the laundry room and the kitchen area. And
You had a question?
I assure you, the homeowner, if he thought that she was dangerous, would absolutely not allow her to come back here.
Jackie, you had a question?
Yes, 2 short ones, please. First of all,
Yes, ma'am.
was 6 vaccinated against rabies at the time of the incident?
She was not. I thought she was, but I was off on my dates, and so no, she was not.
Okay, and then I have an indication here that 6 was not licensed with the county. Can you tell us why?
Because she was not updated, and the past year has honestly been uprooted. I was uprooted. I moved twice, trying to get away from that situation, very toxic relationship, and so yeah.
Thank you.
That went on the back burner.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from commission members? Okay, I'm going to close the hearing for, I'm sorry, Officer Herbert, you had something else?
I just wanted to let y'all know that 6 doesn't have proof of a prior rabies vaccine since 2021.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they said.
Is 6 under regular veterinary care?
No, because she doesn't get sick. She's healthy. She doesn't get sick. I take her there for them to trim her claws when I can afford. And like I said, this past year has been very terrible. Actually,
Thank you, Ms. Richardson.
the past several years, I've been trying to get out of this toxic relationship, and I sort of got stuck. But he finally went to prison, and so I was able to get out.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Richardson. Hearing nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing for deliberation.
Okay.
I should take volunteers. Anybody? I guess, Dr. Hammer, I always start with you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I empathize with Miss Richardson's situation. Still can't lose sight of that dog did some fairly serious damage to that neighbor. Really serious. And I appreciate the fact why the neighbor didn't want to show up and relive that. Based on what I see here and the fact the dog's not getting regular veterinary care, not even the basic rabies vaccines that you can get at animal control at a discounted rate. I'm inclined to uphold the dangerous order just out of the respect for public safety that we're entrusted with. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Jackie?
I didn't hear any reason given that would indicate that we should lift the dangerous order. I concerned that she doesn't take accountability and blames the victims for their injuries. So I think it should stay in place and she should be closely monitored.
Okay, Lieutenant McGrath?
Yeah, I think the order should stay in place. I don't think she's gonna be able to control the dog. So it's unfortunate, but I don't think she'll be able to control him.
Nicole?
So based upon the evidence and admission, there's been 2 previous incidents. In addition to the lack of vet care and basic rabies vaccine that I'm sure inflicted more pain on the victim because I'm sure she had to go through more treatment because of the lack of a rabies vaccine, I believe we should uphold the DO.
Tom?
Yeah, yeah, I think there's been no evidence provided that should, we should consider any modifications, and I'd uphold.
Yeah, I agree. I always like to hear, from the initial witness, but Ms. Richardson said she was there and saw it all, so I don't think there's any doubt that it happened, and I didn't hear any basis for a modification. So I'm gonna make a motion that we uphold the dangerous order as is.
I second.
All those in favor? All right. We're voting on minutes, Autumn?
Yeah, so got to vote on minutes, and then I have an update regarding your position as well. So we can make a motion first for the meeting minutes, everyone except Lieutenant McGrath, because you were not there last month. So everyone else needs to vote on the minutes from last month.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from last month.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Who second?
Berger, second.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes from April? All right. Thank you.
So Claudia's not on today, but we are looking to still fill the empty spot that we have, and then we have to fill yours. We wouldn't be able to extend your time. So once your time is up, you have to take that break, that period break. But in the meantime, in the short period meantime, realistically between Jackie and Nicole, somebody between those two would need to be the temporary chairman until we get the positions filled. Everyone agrees that Dr. Hemmer should not be the chair because of his position. We can't have anybody from the police department or the Department of Health either taking on that position, as they already have, their direct responsibilities. So that's just kind of where we are.
So let me ask that. My term expires after the June meeting, so I would still attend and chair the June meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, so that would be your last one. We don't have to vote
That's okay.
on the replacement now, just kind of like have it tabled and then vote on it in June, if that's what everybody else wants to do. But we would need somebody to temporarily do it until we get the other 2 positions filled, which we are actively working with to do.
So does that mean that I know the statute allows for holdover until the position's filled. I'm just, because it's the end of my second term, I wasn't sure if that was applicable. So do I still come in July or no?
No.
No, right? Okay. That's what I'm just making sure. I didn't want to ditch you guys if if you were waiting for me to show up. Okay. Dr. Hemmer.
Yeah,
That's really all we have.
I guess I'd kind of like to hear from Jackie and Nicole if there's any interest in either one of you, assuming Jennifer's position, if there's any interest.
So previously, Robin Catlett had proposed it to me before we elected Jennifer. And I don't mind temporarily. I'm not interested in long-term. But at that time, I also said to Robin that Jennifer would be a much better option. So here we are. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
What about you, Jackie? You want the job?
I'll do whatever we need to do, but I do have a question about quorum that in July, if we still haven't filled the position that is open now and don't have Jen back or her position filled, will we have a quorum?
Yes,
need
we still
4.
will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4. So
Okay.
we are working directly with the 2 districts to figure out the
Okay.
replacement.
Okay. I will do whatever we need to do.
Yeah, and I don't mind filling in any given month if we have issues too. I mean, it can't be a long-term thing because again, the health department, it might be me, it could be Greg, it could be my supervisor, Mike, eventually, you never know. But again, I'm happy to fill in whenever.
Can I just make the comment, though, to both Jackie and Nicole, that I don't see how it would be temporary for either one of you, only because you guys, the commission needs a chair going forward. And obviously, whoever's newly elected to fill my place isn't going to be able to do it because they have no experience. So somebody needs to be the chair for at least the next year.
Okay. Well, and Nicole, sounds like it's between you and I. So I will leave it to you if you want to take the position. I'm gladly give it to you. If you don't want it, I will gladly take it.
Ditto. That's what I'll say. I'm not going to fight
Should
you
we flip a
for
coin?
I'm not
Oh.
going to fight you for it, but again, I'm here to serve, and I just, being brutally honest, I'm concerned about the fact that my face speaks volumes, and I'm very aware of that. And so, if you'd like to take it, and with your nice facial expressions, my shaking the head and eyeballs popping out generally give, are an issue, and I'm fully aware of it.
I can appreciate that. I should tell you all that when I'm in other Zoom meetings where it's not required to be on camera, I turn mine off so people can't see my face. But I will serve in whatever way we need.
Do we need to vote on Jackie taking over that position in July, or is this something we should wait until June?
June. We would do it in
We
June.
could do it now, or we could wait until next month. I mean, I'm going to be here next month, so
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
I assume. All
Can we
right.
go? I think we should wait till June. That way it's official for the next month, and then it can marinate with both Jackie and Nicole for the next month, and then we'll vote on it then.
Sounds good.
But that's all I
All right,
have.
Then, all right, folks, thanks. Today was a bit of a long one, but I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thanks, everyone. See you next month.
Great month. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.